welcome to another video. Today you guys, we're back in my sketchbook and I drew this drawing of my OC cricket and I really wanted to do something with it. Honestly, I was thinking, since I have these two pages that are full of marker bleed, I kind of figured I needed to do something in between them, and I could have just left it just like regular pencil or like pen like I normally do, but I was like, if this week we're doing stuff what we don't normally do, I guess we could go ahead and break out the acrylic paint pens. So today we're coloring in this drawing of cricket with my acrylic markers from Artex. I don't really endorse this brand one way or another. I don't really know much about paint pens, but these are the ones that I have, and I bought them because I wanted to get into paint pens a little bit. If you know anything about me, you know I don't like to paint, but I feel like paint pens make it a little bit easier, and these have brush tips, so that also makes it a little bit easier. I was going to do 2 pages I was going to do like a whole spread, but the other drawing that I drew on this spread I don't really like very much. So I'm like, I really don't want to paint it. And also I felt like if I painted both sides, I feel like maybe the paper would get stuck together, and I don't want the paper to get stuck together. So if I ever end up deciding that I want to paint that one, I will. But for today, we're just going to do cricket because I thought this drawing came out a little bit cute. Not super cute, but a little bit cute. I don't know what colors I'm going to use for it though. Cricket's primary color is green. That's his character color. His sweater is normally green. And I guess I could do this all in greens, but honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do, you guys. I have no ideas for the coloring. I guess we can just go with green for now. This set thankfully does have like a good set of greens, so we're probably just going to go with those 3. I thought about just coloring this in like normally, just like his normal colors. I was like, let's shake it up. Let's do something different. I know I did use green on Wednesday's video, but green's my favorite color, you guys. We could use green every once in a while. It hasn't been super that long since I painted. I did paint something in my last sketchbook. Just some flowers, but I'm actually going to cover all of this in. Well, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Maybe I should do shadows first and then color the rest of it in. I actually don't know. I guess we could start with the shadows. And where do I want the light to be coming from is the question. I guess we'll do it's coming from the right. That way, we'll have things that are a little bit more defined already. Here should be dark green because it's shadow. Yeah, there's already some greens. I'm going to try my best not to cover up the line art too much because honestly I don't know what I'm going to do. If I lose the line art too early on. Honestly guys, I was really against using paint in the sketchbook. Just these paint pens in general, just because I don't like the way that they feel against my hands. I have a really weird thing about texture, especially texture against my hands. Like, I don't like certain brands of paper because they're like very highly textured. I really like smooth paper, mostly because of the effect that it has on like markers and stuff, but also I don't like the way the textured paper feels against my hands. That's a pretty big deal for me, honestly. And so it's like, I don't like the feeling of acrylic against my hands either. Oops, that's way too much of that one, but that's okay. This is going to be the mid-tone color. I wonder if he's going to look like The Mask. Do you guys know who The Mask is? Is that reference too old for you? I mean, technically I think that movie is older than I am, but I watched it a lot as a kid. This is probably going to take like a couple of layers to actually cover up the colored pencil because I did not even attempt to erase it. And you guys, I was never going to attempt to erase it. It was always going to live there. I'm too lazy to do that. I wonder how the coverage looks for you guys on the camera. Because honestly, for me right now, this coverage is not doing the best. It might be because this is like more of a pastel green than the other two, which are a little bit darker. Which, you know, makes sense. But honestly, this should not be dry because I've never used this marker other than to swatch. Like maybe to draw like the leaves on the flower like one time. It should not be dry. I don't know anything about paint. Maybe I should stop living in ignorance and actually try to learn things. That might be helpful. Okay, there's just hint. Let's let that dry for a while before we add things to it. Okay. I guess now we can... Honestly, I should have done the hand last because of the way I have to, like... Hopefully this is dry. Yeah, the good thing about these is... Oh gosh, that's not dry. It's wet. Oops. But other than that, these actually dry really fast. Pretty fast. Also, I'm probably going to do, like... black line art somewhere around here. I don't know where yet, but... I have no idea how I'm going to do his hair either. Sorry, as I was saying, probably going to put black line art for this. I don't think I'm going to be able to contrast it enough on its own with just the colors. Nope, this is kind of eating up the paper though. Whoops. That's not good. I'm gonna make his sweater this mid-tone green. I like brush tips. They're my preferred nib for like markers and stuff, but they take so long for filling in areas. Honestly, the chisel nibs are superior for that sort of thing, but the brush is great for blending. I'm just not using it for blending right now. Getting that green on the other page. Whoops. It's okay. I don't even know if I'm ever going to paint that one. Probably not. Can I be honest with you guys? I'm straight up not having a good time. I don't think I like painting. But honestly, I think the thing that I don't like the most about painting is that it has an ugly stage. For alcohol markers, at least for me, I feel like honestly, I don't think everything I make is like beautiful or whatever, but I don't think the ugly stages are quite as bad as they get in your painting. And so it doesn't bother me so much when it's in an ugly stage, because it's like it's already got the line art and stuff, and it's like already got parts of it that I can like or pretend that I like, or be like, oh, it's okay, I can fix that really easily. And since I don't really know what I'm doing with paint, it's harder for me to convince myself that I can fix it. So when I see it be like at that ugly stage, which doesn't mean that the finalized piece is gonna be ugly, it's just at a stage where it looks kind of ugly, I just end up spiraling every time. I'm like, this is ugly, it's the worst thing I ever made, and it's never gonna get better. And that's really hard for me. I try not to let it bother me, but it does. It bothers me a lot. I guess we'll just go to the, well, I forgot to skin. Whoops, sorry. The skin for his little neck right here. Okay, there's that part. And we just have to do his face and his hair now. Honestly, this is not like 100% the worst. I just don't like the way it's turning out. And it's starting to hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of wish I wouldn't have went for this very pale green as the base color, but now it's too late. Alrighty, you guys. I just realized I don't know what I'm going to do for his hair. And the only other green I have left is like a bluish sort of green, and I'm kind of tempted to just go ahead and do it. Even though the rest of this is like a very yellowish green. I'm tempted just to be like, fuck it, I do what I want, and I don't really care that much, and I don't really like this that much anyway. So I think I am going to do that. Okay, I lied. I'm not going to do that because that hair, that's actually way too blue. I pretended like I was going to do that, but I'm not. I'm too scared. The only other green I have is like this desaturated sort of green, but it's more of a yellow green than that other one was. That other one was way more blue, so we're probably just going to go for it. Oh god, never mind. That's so ugly. Oh my god. Oh, you guys immediately hear the regret in my voice. Ew, I hate that. No, gross. No, we're not doing that. Let that dry. Ew, I hated that a lot. Oh my god, that was disgusting. I can't believe that happened. That's what happens when you don't plan. I like tested it out on my hand. It looked a lot less brown when I put it on my hand. What can I say? Immediately when I put it down, it was like, this is not green, this is brown. Fuck you. So thanks for that. I'm so glad that these are very good coverage, or else that would have made me cry. If I would put that down for alcohol markers, I would have just been deceased, honestly, because that was really disturbing, and I hated that a lot. So yeah, his hair is just going to be the darkest green that I have. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Honestly, anything else is just too much. I can't handle it. That was really bad. That was almost a catastrophe. I'm glad I didn't just put it, like, go down swinging and put that all over the place. It kind of looks like the Jolly Green Giant, because it's all greens. Cricket wishes he was as tall as the Jolly Green Giant. Honestly, I don't think Cricket is short, but it's funnier to me if he is. I think he's short, like, relatively. It's like some of the other guys he hangs out with. I just know that he would be mad if he was in a group and he was the shortest. He would feel very much like his masculinity was being threatened. He's not like a super manly guy in the first place, and so he makes a lot of jokes to be like the kind of guy, like the funny guy, so that way he has like a thing, because he knows he like, I'm never gonna be like the handsome guy or the guy everybody's looking at, so he's like, I gotta be like the funny guy at least, right? The bad thing is just, comedy is subjective, and some people don't think he's funny at all. I would argue that most people don't think he's very funny. But I like that about him. I like guys who are very unfunny. I think it's endearing. I guess make his eyes the mid-tone color. And I guess the inner part of his eye should be the skin tone color, right? That would make sense. I guess we'll just do that. Then we're gonna add the blush in, and it's like we're probably gonna use line art to make the blush look like actual blush. So I'm just gonna go over it, I think, with black. I could bring out like a brush pen, but I'm just gonna use this black paint pen. Honestly, I'm just gonna try not to think about it too much. Maybe I could have got like creative and like lined it with blue or something. Now I'm kind of wishing that I had done that. But sometimes, you guys, I'm not creative. I'm just like, just do whatever makes sense. And this is the part where I remember that I am not very good at lining with a brush pen. But it's still important to practice. Oops, I messed that up. Whoopsies. That's okay. Just gotta remember to keep that hand light. I'm just so heavy-handed. Just keep it steady. You're okay. You got it. Always go too heavy-handed with it. Oof. This paper is wrinkling like crazy. Well, it's curling, which I should expect. I'm so glad I'm only doing one painting, because if I had to do this again, I think I would not like it. It's not even really a painting. It's like a very graphic sort of style, so I wouldn't say it counts as a painting. I gotta make sure I add his freckles, or else it's not Cricket, you guys. Oh, I guess I didn't really talk about the drawing too much, did I? I drew this. It's supposed to be like Cricket. He's supposed to be like blushing, and like his hand is like covering a camera. Don't know why I drew it. I was just like, what if we drew someone with their hand in front of the camera? I wasn't even really planning on it to be Cricket, and I drew it, and then it turned into Cricket. And I was like, that's probably fine. I'm making the line art a little thicker around the hand because it's supposed to be closer to the camera. Initially, that was not on purpose, but now I'm deciding that it is on purpose. I should probably go ahead and make the background color a specific color, but I'm not going to. I don't know what. Well, I guess I can make it blue real fast. Okay, am I gonna make the background blue real quick? No, I'm not. But I am gonna add some white to his eyes real fast. Just a little bit of white on his eyes, you guys. It's tradition at this point. There needs to be a little bit of white under the eyes. I hope you guys can see that. I hope it's not curling too much. Whoops. There you go. That's what the finished piece looks like. I'm not going to say that I hate it. because that's not nice to say. What I am going to say is that I don't know how to use these pens. And you know what? That's okay. Okay? You don't need to know how to do everything. It's important just to try. And you know what? I'm glad I tried. So that way I know in the future that maybe make something a little bit smaller. I think that's probably part of the issue. So it's a little bit too big. Next time I draw with paint pens, I'm trying to do something a little bit smaller, because this is not exactly a very large page, but it is still an 8.5. It's an 8 by 8. So it's 8 inches by 8 inches. So that's pretty big for these paint markers. I'm not sure if maybe the coverage is not great. I feel like I've seen other people use them and the coverage was better, but also I feel like their pieces were a lot smaller than mine was. So that's probably part of it. But yeah. I think if I'm going to experiment with paint again in the future, I think I'm going to actually have to not do it on the fly and maybe plan it out a little bit more. But overall, I'm glad that I did this. I think I learned a little bit. And other than that, I would say that I honestly, I don't think I like the coloring very much, but I still think he looks really cute. So overall, I'd say I still like it. I think his blush is very cute. I just wish I'd figure out a way to make the blush look a little bit more blushy. I think it's pretty limited with only 3 colors, 3 shades of green. So other than that, I think this turned out pretty okay. Not my best, not my favorite, but probably not the worst thing that's in the sketchbook if I'm being honest. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for spending this time with me. I will go ahead and see you in the next one. Bye!